everyone, Adrian here. So today is the day. I'm so excited. I can't even tell you how excited I am. So today I'm finally announcing the upcoming release of my debut single. It is called Goddess in a Glass. Ugh! It feels so good to finally reveal the title. I can't even tell you guys. So it will be released on National Absinthe Day, and that's going to be on March 5th, 2023. So not only will you guys get the original, but you will also get a very kick-ass cold wave dance remix by Male Tears. So obviously all of this is amazing, all of this is exciting, and I'm going to get into all of the aspects of the production of this song, because it's my baby and I'm really, really proud of it, and I'm very grateful and happy for all the people who came together to make this happen. So I'm making this video to provide you with a little teaser and to talk about the inspiration that birthed this song, the process of making it with the very esteemed maestro Tim Janssens in LA, and the absolute thrill of having the artist who made the Jade Absinthe labels work on my album art. I never thought that last one would happen, but holy shit, it happened. Wow. So because this is a very special occasion, I wanted to celebrate with not only my favorite absinthe of all time, but the absinthe that inspired Goddess in a Glass. So that would be Jade Terminus Oxygené. Yes, this is my second bottle of it. As you can see, I've already gone through one bottle, and I keep it on my set for decoration because it's beautiful. And so this is the absinthe I was drinking the night that I came up with the concept and the lyrics for Goddess in a Glass. So let's go ahead and pour a glass, shall we? Oh God, that's so good. Woo! It took me right back to the first time that I ever had it. Wow. And because this is a very special occasion, I wanted to drink it with this antique Pontalier glass that I got on Etsy, and I can't believe I got this for an absolute steal like I did, but it happened. And this is authentic, it is very old, it is very heavy, it's a lot bigger than my other absinthe glasses, and I'm so glad that I found it just by chance. And I'm not going to be preparing it with sugar just because I don't really feel like having sugar with it today, but I did want to show off this beautiful antique absinthe grill. Let's see if I can get this a little closer here. There we go. So this antique absinthe grill is over a century old. These are very rare and definitely among the most sought after absinthe antiques that are on the absinthe antique market. I'm very proud I was able to find this. Kind of had to jump through a couple of hoops to get it, but I'm happy that it's in my collection. It's absolutely beautiful, and I'm so happy to have it. This was actually used in my promotional photo shoot for Goddess in a Glass because it's beautiful. Okay, so I've finally got some ice to go with my glass of absinthe that I'm about to prepare for myself. But while I'm preparing this, I'm going to have you guys listen to a little teaser of Goddess in a Glass, and I think you're really, really gonna like it. From the paradise, the green muse is summoned to give you the greatest gift from our goddess in a that is just perfuming the air really, really nicely. Anyway, so that was a teaser of Goddess in a Glass by Adrian LeVay. That's me. Wow, I can't believe I'm saying it. That's so exciting. If you hear a little bit of splashing, that is my brûlure preparing my glass of absinthe here. So to those who have been following me for a while, you'll probably know that two of my greatest loves are absinthe and music, specifically opera. And I've been studying operatic voice for about 12 years, ever since I was 16, when I started taking regular lessons. I have a focus specifically on French and Italian repertoire from the 19th century, because that's the golden age of opera to me, and a lot of people also feel that way. some of the music of that century overlapped with the Belle Époque, which was the golden age of absinthe. So once inspiration struck me to write this song, it felt natural to combine what I had considered to be the golden age of both of my great loves together into one song. So Absinthe is incredibly sacred to me. It's associated with many artists, musicians, and writers from the 19th century. It was their icon. It was a symbol of rebellion, living life to the fullest, and artistic expression, especially when it was under attack by the French wine lobbyists in the dawn of the 20th century. To me, it's a beautiful, divine gift from the green goddess to grant creativity, imagination, and beauty to its drinkers. There's absolutely nothing else like it in the world. And people were so in love with absinthe in its golden age that it was a part of normal everyday life, not just a novelty that we see it as today. I also found that it's part of my family history. It was imbibed by my matrilineal great-grandfather in Mexico many years ago. And my French ancestors most likely drank it as well, since both sides of my family didn't immigrate to the United States until the early 20th century, I think. And that would be on my dad's side. And then on my mom's side of the family, they immigrated to the United States in the mid-20th century. It's also associated with the goth subculture, which has become my home for almost 20 years now. So when I see absinthe being bastardized, misappropriated, and misrepresented, I do get defensive and I do want to protect its legacy. And that's not just me speaking on that. That's a lot of absinthe drinkers in the community who see absinthe misrepresented. They get a little touchy about it, which I can understand. So let's talk about that fateful night, shall we? Oh God. It doesn't matter how many times I've had this. Oh my God, it's just so good. Anyway, carrying on before I freak out. This was in the beginning of 2022, almost a year ago now, I think. And, drinking this, J. Tremendous Oxygené. And I was thinking about how frustrated I was by the portrayals of absinthe in pop culture, and that the problem seemed to be the worst when it came to the medium of music. Now, don't get me wrong, I love The Damned. It's one of my favorite of the original goth bands that began in the 80s. Don't get me wrong on that. And I will definitely give them props for using a sound sample from the absinthe scene from Bram Stoker's Dracula in their song Absinthe. But the way they portrayed absinthe left a really bad taste in my mouth. So using phrases like taste this lunacy and take a chance kind of give you the impression of a weirdo in a dark corner trying to tempt you to drink absinthe because it might make you high, make you trip balls, and it might be highly toxic and dangerous. So I didn't like that. I did not like that one bit. The song is cool. It's catchy. It definitely slaps. But the lyrics, man, the lyrics. And there is a similar kind of problem with The Perfect Drug by Nine Inch Nails. While the song doesn't directly reference absinthe, it is portrayed in the music video, and the implication is still there while constantly saying, "You're the perfect drug," over and over and over again. And then other songs that I have heard also reference, or rather refer to absinthe as deadly, such as one that came out, I think, in the last year by the Criticals. Even more recently, the artist Mothica made a song that likened absinthe to a toxic relationship and plants the misconceptions about absinthe being addictive and toxic in the listener's head. And I'll be honest, I was really frustrated and disappointed by that at the same time, because I liked everything else about the song, but I hated the lyrics and the specific narrative that she was going with. Just didn't dig that at all. I'm also highly disappointed that she could have put a positive spin on this and went with that very awesome pun that all of us absinthe lovers love of absinthe makes the heart grow fonder, but instead she said absinthe makes the heart grow bitter. And I'm just like, ugh. If you would have put a positive spin on this, you could have used the pun and made it so much better. But alas, that's not what happened. And the last truthful song that I can recall coming across about absinthe is L'Absinthe by Barbara, where it was a theme in a sad romantic song that makes references to Paul Verlaine and Arthur Rimbaud, who were famous absinthe drinkers. So I wanted the cycle of toxic, sensationalizing, negative songs about absinthe to stop. And while I was drinking Jade Terminus Oxygene that night, I looked at the lady on the bottle, sitting to the side of me here, and it struck me. I should write a song about absinthe. So instead of letting these other artists distort and misappropriate absinthe, I wanted the Green Goddess to speak for herself. I wanted to portray absinthe as the Green Goddess and imagining her offering her benediction to the frustrated artist who turned to her for inspiration. I didn't want yet another song about drinking absinthe, tripping balls, losing their minds, and getting addicted to it, and possibly dying from it being poisoned. Ugh, God, I got so sick of that. And that's another reason why I wanted to release it on National Absinthe Day. I wanted the release of the song to coincide with the anniversary of the ban being lifted in the US due to brilliant scientists disproving the old propaganda about absinthe to break the cycle of toxic, negative songs portraying absinthe as an addictive, toxic, hallucinogenic drug. I started writing the lyrics, and when I looked at them the next morning, I didn't hate them, and then I was referred to Maestro, Tim Janssens, by my dear friend Whitney, and I did end up having to cut and modify the lyrics to fit the melody that we eventually came up with, but that eventually became Goddess in a Glass. So I initially wanted to write the music myself with the bass of piano and cello and eventually turn it into a dark wave-ish track. But in the end, I love what Tim came up with, inspired by the few lines that I had written for piano, cello, and voice, kind of as a guideline and a reference point. Usually, I never learned how to compose, which is really unfortunate. And everything that I have attempted to compose on my own, I have hated and just chucked. So I'm glad that when I showed this to Tim that he actually really liked it and turned it into something better. That made me really happy. I'm really glad that I got Tim to compose, produce, and engineer the song because I think it's absolutely incredible. I really do. And I'm not just saying that because I sung in it, but I think the song as it stands, even if it didn't have my vocals in it, would have been amazing. So because he and I were both classically trained, it was a lot easier for us to work together, if that makes sense. So because we were classically trained, not only could we throw ideas at each other that we understood, like, oh, well, you should do this harmony or that harmony, or I would say, oh, you liked it when I did the portamento, or, oh, hey, we can try contra motion, that kind of thing. We could throw ideas at each other that we understood, which is great. And I also told him that I wanted it to be in 6/8 time signature because it's my favorite, and then talking about the key signature I wanted. But even in the recording booth, it was amazing to hear him coming up with harmonies on the spot and having me sing them back to be recorded. That was absolutely amazing. And if ever you need any kind of beautiful, cinematic, worthy work to be done, you need to book Tim Janssens to be your guy. Trust me on this. Yes, all the voices that you hear in the song were all me, separately recorded, not copied, not pasted, not altered, and definitely no one else stepped in to record those harmonies. It was all me. And the second chorus is my favorite, and that's the part that I showed you guys, because it literally sounds like an opera chorus in a big budget opera company, and it just sounds so beautiful. And I don't know about you guys, but I think a lot of opera singers suffer from kind of getting into their own head about their singing voice and, hating how it sounds on recordings. But when I was working with Tim in the recording booth and he was playing back parts that I had sung and I listened to it, and I'm just like, what? My voice doesn't suck? It actually sounds good? What? And then Tim would be like, you sound surprised. And it's just because I was really surprised that it didn't sound like shit like it normally does in amateur recordings and with equipment that I have access to that may not be the best. Wow, I'm actually getting a little emotional. That was a magical moment for me. It really was. And finally, let's get to the absolute thrill of the artist who made the Jade labels agreeing to create my album art. So his name is Ambris Diosi. I just took a stab at that. I'm sorry if I butchered it, but yes, that's him, Ambris. So he reached out to me because he's a mutual friend of Ted Bro, and he said that he loved the work that I do in the Absinthe community, and he wanted to become friends. We really hit it off, and he eventually offered to do album art for me if I were to release any music. So when I started working on Goddess in a Glass, I knew he was the perfect man for the job. And just in case you guys need a reminder of the Absinthe label artwork of the Jade Absinthe labels, check this out. He did this. The artist who did this did my album art as well. Wow. That's incredible. So for the album cover, I really didn't want to depict a typical Absinthe glass and one that is kind of mass reproduced, so to speak. So I thought that depicting this gorgeous antique Pontalier glass that I found for an absolute steal on Etsy would be perfect to symbolize Absinthe's golden age. Fun fact, they don't make reproductions of these, and it's really, really heavy. I have a feeling that if I were to hit someone over the head with this, it would really, really hurt, and this thing probably wouldn't break. Not that I'm going to try it out, God no. But I'm just saying, it's really, really thick. It is dummy thick and very heavy. So Ambris had a great idea of putting a skull at the feet of the goddess rising out of the glass, which sounds great on paper, but I ultimately decided that I didn't want any deathly imagery to be depicted on the album art and be misinterpreted, because a lot of the Crabsinthe brands tend to use that deathly imagery to make their absinthe seem cool and edgy and even toxic. Because, you know, skull and crossbones, or the skull and, like, hazard and poison control, whatever. I just didn't want that to be associated with my song. So I absolutely love the final sketch that he created, and he's currently working on a full color version to be the final album art, and that will be released on the, or rather, it will be revealed on the release day in a couple months. It's 2 months now. Wow. A little less than 2 months. That's totally crazy. I can't believe this is happening. This is awesome. Wow. So my lovelies, that brings us to now. I have some merch that will launch when this video goes live to promote the release of Goddess in a Glass, and yes, I will be making a limited run of physical copies of the album for those who still buy CDs. Myself included, I do buy CDs when it's really, really, really important. Like The Awakening, but I will be posting a review of that soon, I promise. So the CD will include the original song, as well as a Cold Wave dance remix by Male Tears that I think you guys will absolutely love. Even Kenny liked the remix more than the original. Again, this will be released on National Absinthe Day, which is March 5th, 2023. Mark your calendars, please do. And I will also leave links to all of the platforms that I will be releasing my song on in the description below once I finish getting my ducks in a row for the release, so that will be periodically updated. But for now, I definitely have a Bandcamp, and I definitely have my YouTube channel here, and once the song is released, I will probably make a really cool visualizer kind of music video for it that I think you'll like. It'll be a lyric video, so you guys can, you know, read the lyrics and listen to the song at the same time, which I really like those. So, with all that being said, I want to say thank you so much to everyone for your support, for your excitement, for being pumped about this release. I never thought in a million years that I would be able to release a song and me actually like what I'm putting out, because I've unfortunately been trained in my life to not be proud of what I accomplish, but that's changing with Goddess in a Glass. So I want to say thank you so much to my friend Whitney for helping make this happen. She's another amazing musician that you guys need to check out. I will leave her links down below as well. She does dream pop and sometimes she does some rock stuff, but she's amazing and I absolutely adore her. We had such a good time in LA. Oh my god. LA. Just kidding. Not gonna do that. And I also wanted to thank Tim Janssens, the maestro who helped make this absolutely incredible. Without you, this wouldn't be as good as it is. And I really want to thank you for bringing your knowledge and your expertise. I can't talk. Wow. Your expertise and your passion and your full devotion to making this the incredible track that it's going to be when it comes out. I also wanted to thank Ted Bro for contributing and helping make the trip to LA happen a lot more quickly than I thought it would. And thank you for believing in me and for supporting what I do here in the Absinthe community and everything. I really, really, really appreciate it. And thank you so much to my husband for being amazingly supportive and telling me not to give up. Wow. I promise these are happy tears. And I also want to thank my voice teacher, Dora, and I really want to thank my patrons who helped me put money aside and save up faster to make the trip to LA happen and to make the song happen. Thank you so, so much. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate it. I couldn't have done this without you. And to everyone, thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for following and liking and subscribing. And I'm really, really excited to see what you guys think of Goddess in a Glass when it comes out. This is going to be my baby, and I'm so excited for you guys to hear it when it's ready. So, thank you everyone. I love you. You're amazing, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!